So what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to bore a hole, but not a through hole, into the center here, so to accept this part, the top part. Hopefully that'll be enough. So it's not enough. Well, actually, no. I don't want it to go through the other side, but if it has to, it has to. Okay. So, if I didn't stop there, I would have gone too deep. So, lucky for me, I stopped. Okay, so now I'm going to make the plate that will ride inside this inset, and that will enable this plate, this pressing plate, I don't know what you'd call it, but I'm calling it a pressing plate, to rise up and down as I turn this. So to have it this size is a bit silly. So I have to make it smaller, but it's nothing to do with aesthetics. Even though, yes, this size doesn't look great, but it still has nothing to do with aesthetics. What it is that screws are going to be attached as such, right, in the middle here. And I'm going to put one screw in the corners and so forth. Now, I could put screws here as well, but you know, now aesthetically it doesn't look good. So as I'm going to have them in the corner, if I leave it at this width, then the chances are that this will rise up, right? So it'll buckle. So if I make it, and if I make it narrower, so I think 3.5 inches wide is good enough. And I think 6 inches is also good. So I'm going to make this 6 by 3.5. Okay. And what I'm going to do, rather than using a pencil, I'm going to use a marking knife, because this plywood, well, I mean, with anything, with any wood, if you just, you know, cut with a pencil, then the underside is going to chip out. But if I use a marking knife and I sever those fibers beforehand, then it won't. But well, I wanted to add that this plywood isn't very good. So if you look, you can see the guts of it is fallen out. And a good quality plywood, you won't see that. So, for this thing, it's good enough. And you know, for many tasks, this plywood, you know, will work, but the quality is still shoddy. And the sad thing is that this plywood, I don't remember how much I paid for it, but I do remember grumbling about it. And it is from, you know, the big box hardware store. In all honesty, I don't know who sells plywood. We used to have one called Mr. Ply and Wood, but he was pretty bad. But you know what? When you sell crap, and that's all the tradies can buy, and they've never experienced anything that's really, really good, well, they don't know any different. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to find the dead center of this. And I'm going to do that by placing the ruler from corner to corner as such. I'll strike a line, right? And then I'm going to do the same on this other side. Okay, so I'm also going to mark a line. Let's see if I can use this. Let's see if this is square, number one, and it's not. So, I'm not going to square it up because I'm just going to judge it by eye what appears to be vertical or horizontal, depending on how you look at it. So I think, again, when you're good, you're good. I think I've done it. So there's my vertical line, and they all meet into the center, right? So with my awl, I'm going to prick a hole, and then I'm going to bore a hole, which is a 1-inch hole, right? This inset here, right, comes to a thickness of 7/8. Now, if I bore the hole of 7/8 straight into here, right, and then when I cut it or rip it, it's not going to meet up, and it's not, when I say not going to meet up, it's not going to close up, right? And I don't want gaps there, and it's going to be too much of a friction fit, which will always, you know, heat up and so forth. So I'm going to find my horizontal, and I'm just going to bore. flip it. And do the other side. And this way I get a nice clean hole. I'm always trying to work to higher standards. And that higher standards just flew out the window. So there's a small chip. That means I'll face this downward to hide it. So I'm going to use my back saw, which is a 13 ppi crosscut, and that's because it's got fine teeth on it, right? I don't want to use the 9 ppi one that I've got, even though it cut faster, but it will also make a mess. This won't as much, if at all, actually. I don't like using my back saws on plywood. Maybe because of, mostly because of the blunting effect, but that's just because I'm lazy to sharpen. Exactly what I didn't want to do, but I did it. Well, it still made a mess in the back. And why did it make a mess? Because I cut on the inside, like a dill. I cut on the inside of the line. And you can see, this is a great example now. This is as if I just marked it with a pencil. You can see how much this blowout or chip out or whatever you want to call it. That's what happens when you don't use a marking knife. And now, and here is when I've used the marking knife, and you can see like it's to an absolute minimum, and you're just playing to the line and voila. So I think I'm just gonna throw this one away because it's gonna eat me. It really is gonna bug me. Or I'll use this one. Okay, so this time I've done it, and I've done a better job, much better job on both sides. You see, no chip outs, no blowouts anywhere. So the second time is a charm. what I'm going to do here is now I'm going to rip it straight down, and just as I use the crosscut, so I'm going to use my rip, and it's 11 ppi rip. And make sure that this is vertical. Too much vibration for my liking, so I'm going to have to lower it and then raise it as I need to. Okay. Now, I will admit that I made a very big mistake and I went off the line. Actually, went on an angle, so I didn't want to do that, but you know, sometimes you're off your game, and I am off my game. I actually haven't done any woodworking since my wife got ill, and this is my first day back in the shop, so we're talking well over a month I haven't done anything, and immediately I become rusty. Well, we'll see how this works now. We'll see if I can fix it. So that goes in there like such, and this goes in like such. You see, it's such a perfect fit. And then when I go to plane this, it will probably be an imperfect fit. So just give it a try. Yeah, this is so off. What a bummer. No. This is not going to work. So whether or not you can see this, this does not want to close up. Okay, and you know, I could leave it actually like this. I could leave it like this, but I've got one more piece. I've got one more piece here. Oh my goodness, it's exactly the length and the width. Talking about a fluke. So I'm going to make another one, and this time actually accurately cut it, rip it down the middle. I mean, hey, these things happen, you know. It's not the end of the world. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll do it off camera. So now I've cut 2 fresh pieces, and this is pretty much down the guts of it. Put that in there. And it's exactly how I want it. So there's not going to be, this is not a friction fit, it's not a loose fit, it's just right. So, but the inside is not rubbing on the wood, so there's not going to be a heat build up, and I won't be starting the fire. So this is definitely coming to the close of this video. I'm going to put on the back here B for bottom, so I know. All I have now left is to cut this off, and she's done.